What's up guys, I'm Mel from Fortin Amps, and in this video we take a budget amp like the Peavey Valve King 100 and pair it with the HexDrive to make it sound like this. Alright, so if you guys frequent the Fortin channels, you guys might have seen the first Does It Grind episode where we paired the Valve King 100 with the grind to see if it indeed does grind. So in this video, we're test driving it out the same way, but this time with the HexDrive. Alright, so if you guys checked out my first video with this amp, you guys might remember that I got this amp for about 250 bucks, and it currently sells for used for about 450 to about 500 bucks. So it's a pretty budget amp when you come by it at like Guitar Center or just the modern gear trading space. So that being said, you guys know what to expect from a tone like this, and you guys can get an idea of what the HexDrive, or any overdrive for that matter, can do to elevate your tone. So right now, I'm putting the HexDrive to the test with the Valve King 100 to see if I can make it sound super crunchy and super solid for a modern metal guitar tone. So with all that being said, let's jump into dialing it in. Alright, so here's my signal chain. This Legator Opus S with Guitarmory Atlas pickups, single coil and humbucker going into the Roach, keying out the Zuul. The Zuul is my noise gate, and we're going to be using the HexDrive, and the HexDrive is going to be boosting and overdriving into the Peavey VK100. All right, so enough talk, let's get to chugging. So this is what the amp sounds like with everything at 12 o'clock. All right, so I'm gonna try to dial in a solid tone just to get a feel for the amp with these pickups and this guitar. I'm gonna try to boost up the gain so I can get it to chunk. It has this little bit like muddy texture to it, even though it's in drop. So I'm gonna try to bring that brightness back. That's pretty cool. Let me see what the presence actually does. Let's see, let me just see what the middle does. Cool, so I'm gonna bring the middle back just to keep things a little bit more focused. And I've noticed that when I push the volume on this amp, I feel like it opens up a bit. Pushing the volume a bit more gives me a bit more mid, so I'm gonna just keep it a little bit above 12 o'clock. Like 1-ish. I really feel like it could get beefier, so I'm going to try to see what the resonance does. Okay, I feel like it gives me more mud. Let me see what the bass does. Okay, so we know that this amp is probably going to be a bit... With this amp, I feel like it gives me a spicy, cool, beefy, fat tone, but not really tight. So with these settings, let me see if I can dial in the HexDrive starting at 12. So that's cool. I actually kind of like think that's pretty sick. Now, I feel like when I turned on the HexDrive, I immediately got a tighter tone. So but I just feel like it's just not as tight as where I need it to be, just because I feel like the bass woofs out a bit. I also feel like I have a lot more gain than I want, so I'm going to dial back that gain. I'm actually going to see if I can boost it with the overdrive instead. Cool. So I'm going to... So right now I'm just trying to find the sweet spot between the middle and the treble, so I can get that spanky brightness and that bite, but try to dial in those harsh mids. So right now I'm going to find the common ground between my tone knob and the middle, and that's going to help me find the sweet spot for this guitar and how everything like responds and gives me a tight, nice, clean, but not harsh tone. So when I do these big chords, that's when I notice I get a little bit more harsh spank. And I do this note a lot during the chorus section, or the part where it opens up in the demo. So I'm going to try to dial that back. So I'm going to play this specific, and then play with the treble and the presence, try to find that middle. So I kept everything at 12 o'clock with the drive because the HexDrive breaks up or clips at about the 12 o'clock section. And since I'm doing a lot of hammer-on and pull-off riffs, like I felt like I wanted a more compressed signal, so giving my signal a touch of clipping before it hits the amp gives me a nice consistent tone, whether or not doing hammer-ons and pull-offs or... But since, you know, these are passive pickups, I get a bit more dynamic sound. So I'm pretty stoked on this even ground that I'm getting. Alright, so you've heard me mess around a bit. I'm pretty stoked on this tone. I feel like the HexDrive made it really simple and really easy for me to get a nice, solid, pushed overdrive tone into a pretty budget, affordable amp. So with all that being said, I'm stoked on this, and let's hear it in the mix. Alright guys, so I hope you dug that tone as much as I did, and I hope you dug that track too, because it was fun and was super 2008 metalcore, just like my roots. And if you dug it, please thumbs up the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, ring that bell for notifications, and please let me know in the comments below what amp you want me to test drive with the HexDrive next. And if you're looking for a solid overall video on the HexDrive, please check out my previous videos on the HexDrive over here. Again, my name's Mel from Fortin Amps, and I'll catch you on the next one.